Hey folks, good morning. We are going to continue our efforts in producing map assets here for the upcoming Eberron adventure, Crystals of Mabar. I'm going to check my signal here real quick, make sure I'm coming through clean. I'm going to check my... Yeah, that sounds pretty clean. Yeah, I can hear all the things I need to hear, so we're groovy there. If you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I've gone live on Twitter, so consider following me live on Twitter to find out when I'm live in the future. So there's that. Sorry, I've got that stupid laughing at myself thing going on here that we hear on YouTube streamers occasionally. It's personally, it's a thing I hate about myself the most. I'm going to just drop some Discord signals here real quick across the board, just to give shout outs to folks like Eberron's Discord channel, Deserzod, Trent Monk, the DMsGuild Lounge, Drive Through RPG, Dungeoneers Pack, and Fry Minis. We're almost done with our list already. Zipperon and Riker's Cleric Corner. Thanks a lot, guys, for letting me spam notification that I'm live every day. And thanks to anybody that decides to come through and check this out. Here's a book cover that we here. Let me fix my screens real quick, and we'll get into this real quick. Bop, and then bop. Everything should be set. Okay, cool. So this is the book cover we created. It was like back around episode 40 something, like 42, 40, like maybe even 38 through 50, something like that. So here's the book cover that we'll see on the DMsGuild once this adventure publishes, and it'll be about that side on the display ribbon, so it should stand out pretty distinctly. But the other assets that we've been creating, here's the the cemetery map. I think we're on episode 34 or something of this monstrosity. So true to my word, I've been working on these puddles independently. We built this one when we left off. I was still building this one. I'm actually pretty happy with where that one's at right now. I think this one's coming along really nicely as well. And then we have the bigger puddles that we need to worry about. I'm liking the general. I don't know the language or topography, I guess, of what these are so far. But we're gonna have to punch holes through them. I'm very much liking where this guy is at. So I think I have a consistent visual language of how like this puddle and this little flooded grave and this bubbly language here. I think it's all starting to look same, which is what I wanted. And then I think there's some same between those and this one's obviously still work in progress, but we're getting that sameness going on that I was hoping for. So I think this is going to work out. And we've puddled this, and then a little bit more on this. These four main puddles are the major areas that I need to work on. So if you're running the adventure, presumably you're going to be coming here from the south, because the Thorpe piece is south of here. So if you just follow the footsteps of the undead that have risen from this grave to go attack the local Thorpe, it'll lead you right to it. This is knockdown wall that you can navigate through. It leads you into here. The DM can attack you with undead rising from these puddles if he wants, or just lead you on. And there's clues at this gazebo, there's traps over here, there's a big boss fight in here, more clues and evidence throughout here, there's a trick and trap up here, and there's swarms of undead otherwise, and random encounter stuff. So there's not actually a lot of bullet points that you have to hit in here, but it's a fun environment to have characters running around and Scooby-Doo inside of. So I think where my eye is drawn most is here. I feel like this one is can use the most work. So, and I don't necessarily know what that means. It just doesn't look done yet. So I'm just gonna play with it. We're just gonna play. But we're making progress. Like I said, this has been half of my basically working on this particular map. This 52 by 58 inch map has been about half of the production stream that we even have for this so far. Which tells me that this is going to be a really, really big stream when we're finally finished with it. So, expecting on course. I am expecting edits to be done in February, maybe in the next couple weeks, and I think by this Saturday we're going to be done with this piece. And moving on to, I don't know, we'll do a coin toss about whether we move downstairs into the to the third act final dungeon, or if we back out, go back to the Thorpe and build that out first, and then finish with the underground. You know what? No, me saying that just completely smacks against the entire design philosophy I've been following for this, which is try to tackle stuff, the big stuff, first, so that you don't get fatigued at the back end. It gets easier and easier as you go. And I absolutely did not do that with this cemetery. But we spoke of that already, that we wanted to figure out how to do the little puddles so that we could figure out how to do stuff like this for the larger puddles. We very intentionally did them out of order this way. But otherwise, we've been trying to attack these things where bigger early is better. So we'll see how this all pans out. But I think I can get these things blended together and then drop in a new layer to start working the bubble spots throughout the water. So I don't think this churning water quite has the same visuals as, well, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I think we should be okay. My concern, of course, is at the back end of this, the flooded fort, region 3 has a large underground puddle like this, but it slow flows underground. My concern is that the visual, the way that I'm making liquid move in this map is too different from here. I'm going to just go ahead and grab it. It's too different. Drowned fort. From what we've evolved into here, which is always the risk that I speak about, that if we're working on a big project, the style can evolve. See, I like how that looks a lot. But it's very different from the visuals that we have going on here. See, the big difference here is that this is going somewhere. It puddles up and then goes. And I'd say this puddling feels... does it feel okay with these things? I think the big tell is going to be underground. See, this is interesting. I've got the whites as bubbles for the most part. It is a different, maybe, I might have to go back through and fix some of this. Very, very slick. This one feels like the blue is the base and it's the black that's slipping over it. It's very viscous, very oily. I like that look. This one has black as the base and it's the blue that's bubbling over it. I might be okay with that. I should probably rough this up some though. I don't know. Very different visual look. Well, this feels kind of samey with this one. It's the interesting thing here is that I used the blue as the bubbles instead of black, and that just isn't how this piece evolved. I'm gonna let it go for now, and if my heart pulls me to making changes on that, I will absolutely make changes to that. But for now, let's just assume everything's okie dokie. Everything is okie dokie. Because I don't want to find reasons to. There is a subconscious pull that if I finish this, I have to be held accountable for it, and that is a means of procrastination in the art world. Let me not kid you. So you really gotta, at some point, you just kind of gotta own what you produced and get on with it. You know, I do like that there's like nowhere for this water to go, so that can explain the difference in the visual language. I'd like the focus between the blue and the black. I like that, but I don't know if it's just a cheat code. So I'll ask. if anyone shows up, hey, if you're showing up in here and you had the opportunity to take a look at this drowned fort with me here, let's pan this guy back. Let's get into this space. These things. A very different feel. I think I'm going to have to smoke this stuff up. God, it looks so cool, though. I don't know. You guys let me know. Do these things feel like they go together? Because I feel like there's a connection there, but like I need to make this one rougher, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Drop your opinion down below, because you guys are the ones that are going to be looking at this stuff. Let me know if you're gaining visual recognition off of these things. There I am. Caught myself again. I wanted to go over to that big puddle and just work on that some more. I know it's not done. It's like super close. I want to just work on this. Putting in the hours. Like I said, half of this of the stream effort is not only just sharing the process and me rambling about days of yore, but it's also a means of accountability for myself, because this is a Titan map. It is a big 52 by 60 inch map. It is big, and if you're at a normal kitchen table, you're gonna have to break this thing up into chunks, which is great, because there's a fog effect that really limits the character's visibility throughout this entire manifest zone area. It's like everything's covered with obscuring mist. So obviously in VTT, you can fog of war it and control access of information and visuals that way. As characters move through the environment, you can reveal more of it. Or, as I've done in playtests, is just set it universally dark, regardless if you have dark vision or something. That it's just universally obscured to everybody, and then each character has a torch that'll give them the 20-foot radius, or I think it's 30-foot radius visibility around them. So like if you're here, like if we drop the grid in, boom, you can see 5-foot squares here. It's like if you got the fog of war going, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 even coming into this place, you have to actually stumble into the environment, and by about here is when you even pick up on the gazebo. But here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, you can have undead coming out of the water into the mists here from both sides, and they're going to be short notice for the characters moving through this environment. So they're not able to just, oh, there's a bunch of undead over here, I'm just going to lob a fireball. It's like you have no idea what's over there. Zero visibility of that region. Unless you're like sending a familiar over to check it out, which you can do, and it can get eaten or destroyed or whatever. But this fade that then denotes stagnation is that is a big difference between the underground fort, the fort tunnel and this area. Is that fort tunnel, it's actually going somewhere. That water is still flowing someplace, which is into Act 4. So Act 4, and even in Act 4, it's going someplace because there's a sinkhole that's slowly draining everything in the underground swamp. So this really is the only area that doesn't have any drainage of this water at all. So it having a different visual signature is not inappropriate, but it could also be construed as an excuse that we're fabricating here in real time. But the logic is there. So if that's something that we need to fall back on as a speak to, we certainly can. But I am readily recognizing that I've been evolving in the middle of this process, and that the sunken fort tunnel, that was me painting without control. Like I did not. I don't know the process to reproduce that map effect is. It's a lot more ropey and stringy. to that point, I mean, the whole argument I was making about like how this style came about is because I didn't know how to properly depict a flooded sinkhole with no drainage. Like how to depict that with the language that we had in the fort map. So I guess I don't have to talk myself into anything. The reason it looks different is because I was looking for a different type of visual motion solution. So I guess I kind of had that intent the whole time. Sometimes us artists have to remind ourselves why we're smart, because we get lost in the sauce. And being able just to recover and remind ourselves why was it that we were doing this in the first place, just for us to be able to remember what the actual narrative here was, so that we can verify if we're bullshitting ourselves or not. And it looks like in this instance we are not. I would BS myself to believe. My ego wants me to believe I had a master plan and that I'm sticking to it. That is how the ego works. Thank you, Film Machine, for your critical contribution to this creation. But yeah, we're just smudging this thing in, and then we'll do another as soon as I'm happy with the gradient fade into this area, which might be another 120 some odd strokes. We'll see. I just want to create a smooth gradient haze into the middle here, so when I start dropping stagnation bubbles, that it will sit nicely, you know. Cool, so let's take another layer. Let's just put a bubble there and smudge it out a little bit, have it blend in. Oh, nice. I like how that looks. Dude. Whoa. All right. So I think I'm happy with that swirl, but I'm going to take another layer, take this thick blue. Well, that's too thin of a blue. That's too gray. Let's find something a little more sharp. Thank you. You got to keep you're colorblind. You got to keep a close eye on your RGB dial up here in the corner, just to make sure you know. Because the only reason that tipped me off that was gray instead of like a really good blue was the RGB up here. What cued me off was my familiarity with the piece, knowing that color was too high in value for the blues that we've been working on. So I was like, why is that so blue? And that makes me automatically look up at my RGB, which then tells me, oh, you picked up a flaw color somewhere. So then I had to, swap it out. And now we're back to here. So cheers. Do a fade in here. Visuals like that. What I don't want to do is be a perfectionist about all this stuff, but I don't want to leave it off. I don't want to get lazy either. It's an interesting balance there between good enough and actually being content. Like when an artist stops working on a piece because it's good enough, normally that means that it's pissed me off to the point where I don't want to look at it anymore. And when I call it good enough, chances are I'm going to come back and visit it because I know it's not good enough. I just need to get it out of my face for a little while before I punch it. So, I mean, that's the kind of relationship you can have with especially a work like an hour intensive piece like this. But still really proud of ourselves for breaking it up into those smaller segments so that people can actually print. Have a light print version. Letting things slide into each other a little bit more now that we're in late stage with this piece. Being a little creative on how things interact with each other. There we go. Yes. Oh, I'm liking this. Let's see if I can fancy up this little pocket here. No, I think we'll move on to another section. Just keep bouncing back between these four corners until I'm really happy with how each of them are. So I'm not micro focusing on one specifically to keep that evenness of evolution between the four corners. These flow lumps feel really good too. Feels so good. Oh my god, I need to set a timer. 6:40. I've got 80 minutes left. $20 minutes on the block. We'll do 4 of those, and then we'll begin our day at corporate. We're going to come back at lunch in about probably about 5 or 6 hours. I'm not sure exactly. I want to say 5 hours. I'll be back, and we'll be streaming more martial powers. We were working on magic item, creating and providing magic items inside the martial power system. Which last episode was basically parsing out all the different types of weapons and equipment and stuff into random tables. I think we can move on from that into actual tech components, and we also have we're doing the basic in martial powers right now. We're basically doing the DMsGuild section about like how does a DM cope with characters having power. And so like damage reduction types and instant effects that can really sway a battle quickly. Like, what do you do about that? So I think that'll hopefully be some useful information, but it's a lot of text that we haven't written yet, so trying to make sure that it remains entertaining for folks to check out with me, just so they keep eyes on the project. We should be dropping. It should be edit ready in February at some point. Not sure what the book cover on that's going to look like though yet. That's the first thing we do when we have a new project. After we complete the text and we start moving into visual effects, the first thing we want to do is finish the book cover, so that it doesn't, like I've said before, so you don't resent that being the only reason your book hasn't published yet. That leads you to compromising. If we knock out all the big important pieces on a project first, by the time we're sick and tired of it, we should only be working on spot art inside of the book itself. So if we get sick of something, we can just go. We can just, make it more sketch, just like a sketchbook sort of thing, than diving deep into massive visual project, because it's just interior art. You can always go back and fix it later if you want to, because it's just interior art. I feel like if you check in the link down below, there's a link to DMsGuild. It's got a slew of the books that I've created, and you can click on the eye icon on mobile, or click full preview for any of those books, any of the books that I publish, including when this one publishes. You'll be able to read the entire thing cover to cover. So you can just see what it is that you're getting into, like as though you had picked it up at a bookstore and just started thumbing through it, like, is this a cool thing? The answer is hell yeah, it is. The point I'm making is that if you go in there, I think there's a lot of these large production philosophies I hadn't quite nailed down yet. So there's some differences in quality from piece to piece, that when we come through in 2020, once we see what 1D&D does, and we see how the DMsGuild plays with the 1D&D, we'll know, we'll be able to update that set of books in particular, the 5-color mana spell point variant rules. We'll be able to get those compliant with whatever edition it is that we're able to publish on the DMsGuild, and that'll also be an opportunity for us to do a touch-up and facelift for all the art that's in those books, for me to revisit and then potentially even put out as stock art. So we'll see if I go that way, but we got a lot of other projects on our plate for now, so that's not my priority. I mean, Spellpoint Warlocks, Spellpoint Sorcerers is pretty much ready to go using the system we have currently. It's not my. I really want to see what 1D&D does and what the DMsGuild does before I actually publish Spellpoint Sorcerers, because if DMsGuild ends up not being a place to do that, I want to be able to shift it someplace else. But that's a pretty badass book. We actually have a playlist for that. If you check out my channel, one of the I think it's in the 5-color magic playlist. Either that or it has its own. I don't recall offhand. But man, I really dig the Spellpoint Sorcerer. It is a good shout out, and clap back to the 3rd edition. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We can merge these things down. Bloop. Now that all these layers are merged, we can start blending all of them together as a single layer. Just like that ticked. All right. Very convincing. I think if I were to change anything about the Flooded Ruins water is make it a little more smoky, a little more edge choppy, a little less glossy. We'll see. That negative space that the black is forming here helps create how these bubbles are interacting. Like these little tails I'm adding in here, I'm finding are really good about describing how these different runoff puddles are intercepting and interacting with each other. I like that. Like the stacked blister effect. Something like we literally just discovered now, and I'm really digging it. Subtle, but if you stare at it the way that I do, it's pretty easy to see it. A good map is one that the audience is just going to stare at. Like that is like, it's just a good piece of art. Lets the eye wander around, look at different little points of interest. That's the cool thing about a map versus just an illustration. Is that it's a technical document. Like it's something that creatures are supposed to directly interact with. So it kind of encourages a bit more study into what it is. So like, you know where it is that you're stepping, you know where it's leading to, especially as a GM. Just staring at the map that you're going to be working with for your team is ain't bad advice. Just to get familiar with it, just so you can see the little nuances and let your brain think about, well, what different abilities does my group have, and how can I see them trying to exploit or make use of the environment that's being depicted by this map work. And if you guys watch my stream at all, and if you don't, like and subscribe, because I do this almost every day, having leaning into the shenanigans style of play, like making that your primary pillar as a DM is always a good idea. Because when players get tired of exploration and tired of combat and tired of talking to things, they start to break shit. And that's your shenanigans. So that we want to flip the script and feel like we can take control again. And that's when the shenanigans start coming out. It's an inevitability among players in any campaign where they're just mentally or emotionally fatigued with whatever it is that the campaign's got going on, and they just need to blow steam. And that's when they start doing silly shit. Or like blatantly avoiding the plot because they're just like, we don't know where to go yet. We're frustrated, and we don't know how to express that yet. So we're just naturally going to deflect and silify everything we run across, to just because joking releases pressure. So once they start doing shenanigans and they start making jokes and stuff, you know that there's a good chance that they aren't capable of taking whatever it is you got going on seriously. So if you got shits and giggles happening at your table, dropping in heavy NPC dialogue plot points is probably not the best time to do that. Distract them with something meaningless and silly. This is when they make NPCs pet projects to become their favorite shield bearer, where they'll go to ridiculous lengths to do absolutely nothing on behalf of that character, just to avoid something serious. So that is absolutely that's actually the purpose of side quests. It's like a low key it's like the low key use of them. People talk about side quests for buffing out a campaign, but if your campaign is moving quickly and engaging all of the players in the same puzzles and the same plot point reveals, then you don't need like individual quests or side quests and stuff. Just curve out the encounters and the challenges between A and B so that they're going to hit the power spikes and the fatigue resource fatigue that you want for the encounter that you are imagining will challenge the team. But again, if the team is not emotionally prepared to appreciate that circumstance, you're best to back off of it and just let them spin their wheels on something that isn't important, just so that they can feel like they're in charge, just so they know they have player agency, and that they are asserting that they are the stars, and that you as the DM, you are totally on board with that, because they just want to show up and blow off some steam for a couple sessions. It technically isn't any sweat on you, man. You can just practice improv and just bullshit with them over things that aren't really important. Like you can relax for a little bit because there's nothing really important going on here. And once they relax and you're relaxing with them, then they're going to feel empowered, and then they're going to look again at, well, what was it that we were trying to do? I see this a lot, and that you let them just fuck around for a while, and when they sit back and they go, oh, that was silly, that was fun, what were we doing? Then they're in a place where they want to be taking on a like they had a chance to take their own short rest, as it were, and they've got their narrative resources back, and they're ready to apply logic to something a little bit more serious. So that's I guess that's me talking about managing player fatigue. So, sock that away for whatever it's worth. But yeah, seriously, I got 126 followers now. That's awesome. And I need 1,000 to monetize the channel, and I also need 4,000 hours of log time to for YouTube to recognize the channel has enough frequent view that it warrants getting paid. So one of the best things you can do, I humble myself before your presence in wasting hours of consumption on my rambling. Like, subscribe, and just let some more of my playlists just feed around in the background, like if you're doing house chores and stuff. Intermittent rambling about nuggets of insight and history, intermixed with talking about brush techniques and production musings, paired with dead silence. It's a good stream for you to hang out with if you're trying to do some of your own production. Occasionally I might say something that perks up your attention, but otherwise you can just let me burn in the background. Happy to be your background white noise. And drop a comment. Say hey. Definitely looking forward to folks' feedback about the difference between the flooded fort and these puddles, to make sure that visual language makes sense. Let me know how you're doing. Do you have a campaign that's going to be hitting 7th, 8th level in the next 4 months? That would be like, you guys are, if you're playing weekly for 3 or 4 hours, that probably means like you'd be 2nd or 3rd level right now. And if you angle your way into working with the Church of the Silver Flames, the 12, the Gatekeepers, or if you're located in Carnathy someplace, this adventure can fall right into the team's lap very, very easily. If they're doing heist missions or mercenary work and looking for somebody to act as a company patron, Ader Academy, the 12, and just the Carnathi sheriff force for outriding security, they would all happily accept character interest, like off of a billboard, like recruiting, deputizing sheriffs for Talenta Plain territory scouting, for instance. That'd be a good way to hook characters into this. I could envision a bunch of dino riding halflings that are inspired by shamans in the gatekeepers riding into Carnathi Heartland, specifically hunting the manifest zone that these maps are inside of, so they could destroy it. That'd be a fun little halfling incursion project. Pardon the pun, little. Oh man, I'm liking that. Okay, I'm happy. I'm gonna move on from that. Actually, I'm gonna stick around and. I'm a liar. It feels good. Let's do some of this real quick. Fade that down. Freaking brilliant. Let's breathe with your mouth closed there, Kearney. Sure, Tucker. I know you like to smile like an idiot on camera. Hey, timely timer. Let's keep it going. Did I reset you properly? Yes, I did. That was only 20 minutes. That's awesome. Oh. Yeah, let's let that guy sit. I think I'm happy with that for now. Am I actually happy with that for now? Can I be content? I'm gonna merge that down and merge that down. See if I just smudge this out a bit. Just like that. yeah, we can move on from there. We'll move on from there. Let's merge this down, and then we can get back to work inside here. I'm actually pretty pleased with this. Pretty pleased with this. Let me just do some of those masses. Super lumps. Yeah, that feels pretty good. That. Get some fade in over here. Nice. All right, we're looking good over here. Like that. Just like that. Neat. I'm pretty happy how this is. I'm gonna merge that down there and go here. Squib up like that. There we go. Oh, boy, oh boy. How are we sitting? Is this looking good? Merge that down. No, start up a new one. No, start up a new one. Burp. Just like that. Yeah. Can merge that down and then blurp. I need more coffee. Let's consider our next move. I'm pretty happy with how that's sitting as well. So I think I'm just doing some rotation right now. I'm going to move up to the upper right-hand corner. Nice. Cup of coffee. Hot second here. Fix my gear. Heating pad. Butt pillow. Happy to be in due. All right, yeah. I think that looks pretty cool. That looks good. Let's do some more of this. See that leaping out at me. Yep, there we go. Not so bad. We might have to end up coming back and visiting that one. This one, not so bad. We got these snot lumps going on. Not sure if I'm happy with those. I'm gonna leave them in place for now. Alright, let's build some snot nose over here. Snot lump! Hey, all right. Keep it going because it's snowing. Like this. That. Yeah. Barf. we'll do that. Ooh, that's fun. Feel like I can merge this down. A, B, oh, nice. Do like that. I feel like I need to drop something in there. I'm going to merge this down. Create a new layer. Let's throw on some black into here. Let's see what that does. At some point, the pixels want you to move on to something else. Like, it just is like, I don't feel anything else here. We're getting to that point. And that's kind of like, that's kind of like what you're talking about, like when it's like, you know, you're done because you give up on it. And at some point, the pixels just stop talking to you, and it's like there's nothing left here that they're trying to say. It's time to change topic of conversation, as it were. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Now let's merge that down, and let's come back over into this puddle. This is by far the most unique visual language out of the lot. I think we can get this to... whip this into shape. Yeah, no regrets there. Nice. I'm liking these there's lessons for me to learn inside of this piece that apparently I hadn't recognized. I like these long black ribbons, like those are starting to fade out. Like I got some ribboning going on in here, so there's familiarity there. But I like how much this is willing to just to have like little marks like this in the middle. I think that's what's missing in a lot of these puddles currently. Oh my god, that little puppy upstairs is just running its ass off. It's so adorable. It's like a toy husky. And this tiny little nervous thing. It's such a shame. Huskies are such a cool breed of dog. But like the miniature ones, like this one's just a freaking freak show. It's afraid of everything. It's so funny. That's not necessarily the point. I'm gonna get back into here and see if I can learn. God, I'm loving how much of a mess this stuff is. It's really great. I mean, other than smoothing out the language a little bit, I don't think there's a lot I need to add to this. I want to study it a little bit so I can try to pull the same kind of movement and shapeage out of here and drop it into those other puddles, because this one is so strong. actually really happy with how that looks. How can I pull that language and drop it into here? I think I need to create some ribbons like that. Oh my god, yes. Thank you, Timely Timer. What are we sitting? 7:40. We're in our last 20-minute stretch. I'm cool with it. Let's do that. Grab some over here. Nice. Oh my god, that's exactly what we were looking for. Little bits like that. I think that's going to help. Just lock all this in. Wow. All right, well, man, we are super close to done with water, period. We've got another couple sessions left in us. We're going to come back and do this tomorrow. And when we do, I think we're going to muck up the tops of these sarcophagi, and then we're going to work on the roofs. I got to dirty up these stairs too. So we got some like just little bits left. So I think we might have this done by Wednesday. I think Thursday Thursday we will be moving on to Thursday night. I think we're going to be working on the underground map. God, that feels good. God, that feels good. Yeah, we're gonna be on the. We're gonna be moving on from this map. We'll have some time. Oh God, I might even have this finished off screen tonight. We're gonna do martial powers here in about 4 hours. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll play with martial powers, and then this evening, in like. In about 11 hours, we'll be back for Thursday night stream. We're going to work on more Spelljammer ship tokens. We may, and we'll see what other mischief we get into. So I'm feeling ship tokens tonight. Martial powers, of course, Monday lunch. Back tomorrow morning to probably work on this some more. I don't know. We might save further progress on this for Thursday night and just focus on Spelljammer tokens for the next. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to work on roofs Thursday night. I'm going to set this down until Thursday night. So Monday, this tonight, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to work on ship tokens in the morning. We're going to work on ship tokens tonight. And we should be seeing the Spelljammer manuscript finishing edits this week as well. So I think this Saturday we're going to start working on layout. I believe is where we're going to be at. I think I'm going to yeah, I think that's where we're at. Get this looped in here like that. I don't think that makes sense. We can do that though. That makes more sense. We can do that. Loop in here like that. Do this. Just like that. Yep. Nerp. I am pretty happy with that too. This is all feeling pretty good. Do that. All right, I am just about out of time this morning. My gut is telling me to end stream. So, get out of here, scallywag. There you go. Hell yeah. Just clean that up a touch. I know there's more I still need to do here, but I'm getting pretty nitty gritty now. Pretty happy. The overall, like down here, I need to break that up a bit, break that up a bit. This is looking pretty good, pretty damn good though. So, all right, we're officially putting this guy on cooldown. We're gonna let it sit off stage. I'm going to probably mess with it some more in my downtime off stream, just to finish up those little bits I was talking about. We're gonna be back in about 8 o'clock here, about say 12:30 PST, which is about 4 or 5 hours from now. That's ish. when we'll be back on. Actually, I think I'll be on at 11:30, so that's like 4 hours from now. Yeah, let's do that. Back in 4 hours for Martial Powers. We'll be back in 11 hours for evening stream. We'll do Spelljammer tokens, and then tomorrow morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll do Spelljammer tokens. Thursday night, we're going to the water will be done by then off stream, and then we'll work on the roofs and the sarcophagi inside. And that'll be a 3-hour stream. Maybe 2. It'll be a couple hours. It'll be a few hours. It'll probably be like 7 till 9:30 tonight. No, Thursday. God, yeah, on Thursday it'll be a 3-hour stream, no problem. Like from 6 till 9 PST, which is like 9 till midnight East Coast. We'll knock out the rest of this, and this will be done. And then we'll be and then we'll move on to the book to the underground. To the underground research facility. So, thanks a lot for being here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and cut stream here. Like, subscribe. Check out my books down below. They're all 100% free for you to read. If you want to throw me some coin, that's a great way to be able to help independent. Join my Patreon if you want. Definitely follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney. Shout out at me if you know where I'm at on the Discords. Got oil in my eye. I'm out of here, guys. I will see you in 3.5 hours ish. So see you guys then. Looking forward to it. Cheers.